think of people that you know, or even maybe yourself, if you're someone who's chronically angry or chronically anxious or fearful, this is what your body is doing for you because you didn't have adults to help you regulate your system. And fear steps up when there's connection that's missing. It's just how we survive. So now we're going to talk about how chronic fear shows up in adult life. When fear lives at the control panel for us, it doesn't always look like panic. Oftentimes, it looks like some of the following things, and I really want your ears to perk up here because this may surprise you. Perfectionism. Because if I get it all just right all of the time, maybe, just maybe, people won't be disappointed in me, or I won't be disappointed in myself, which creates rejection or aloneness. Overfunctioning. I want everybody around me to be okay because someone wasn't there for me, and so now I overfunction. I don't want anybody to be alone like I felt. People pleasing. I want to make sure everybody's okay because if they're not okay, maybe they get frustrated or angry or push me away, or maybe it's even dangerous. So I never want to be the reason that that's happened. So I'm a people pleaser. Emotional numbness. The emotional world is just too much, so I shut it all down. And the bad part about that is we don't just blunt our protective emotions, we also blunt our enhancing emotions like love and lust and connection. And so we don't want to be stuck in emotional numbness. Chronic busyness is another thing that people will do. This is your classic workaholic. If I stay really busy, I'm trying to avoid the fear of failure or of rejection or not enoughness. Hyper-independence is a sign of chronic fear. This is in adulthood. This is someone who's never going to rely on anybody. I've got it myself because the truth is, I don't want to be disappointed like I was when I was a child. Maybe difficulty resting or trusting. So these are the people that oftentimes are diagnosed with ADHD, but this is just the nervous system unsettled. And so fidgeting, can't hold still, can't rest, always has to be busy, and certainly doesn't trust that things are going to be okay. Fear disguises itself as confidence, productivity, and control. Many people don't realize that they're afraid, but they feel exhausted. And oftentimes when they come into therapy, that's what they're presenting with. And then we have to kind of reverse engineer, what are they afraid of? So here's the bad news. Insight alone won't turn the fear off, but there is hope. In Inside Out, Joy can't logic fear into calm, and you hear her try. The system changes through experience, not explanation. Back to Dr. Vanderkolk, he talks about if trauma is pre-verbal, it lives in the body, not the narrative. So this is what we would call implicit trauma rather than explicit, that's tied to all of the things that happen in our older selves where we can see and remember experiences. And then this is why people can understand their trauma, they can name their triggers, but they can still feel hijacked by fear. And this is what makes people so frustrated. But fear is a bottom-up process, and healing must meet it here. So I'm not going to dig in so deeply to all the different types of bottom-up therapies, but I have a whole episode on how to heal trauma, so I would check that out. And that'll be down in the show notes as well, because that's a nice sister companion to this episode. But when you think about fear and teaching fear that it's safe now does take some work. So healing fear is not about eliminating it. It's about right-sizing it and making it understand that now is not then. So some effective approaches that are beneficial is regulation before processing. Safety comes first. So we have to recognize that we have to breathe, we have to slow down, because safety doesn't we don't know that we're safe unless we do that first. So this is about somatic awareness. This is about learning to notice sensations without panic or without judgment. This is about just present awareness, connecting to, like I gave the example, recognizing that I had a burst of adrenaline, my heart rate went up, my muscles tightened when my son was pretending like he was going to throw me in the water. It's just a somatic awareness of what's happening. And allowing or completing a defensive response, allowing fight or flight or freeze energy to gently resolve. And so this is tracking that energy that happens in the body when we are activated by fear. And so the other thing that benefits fear and settles fear down is predictable environments and relationships. So consistent routines. Kids that are anxious or overstimulated and don't have consistent routines, this is one of the first things we talk to parents about. Like, is bedtime the same every night? Do we know we can count on, all the things that kids need to be consistent? Because their nervous systems will settle down. Boundaries. We need to have those for ourselves and for those around us so that we can have a more predictable environment. And consistency in our relationships is really important. That helps us feel safe in the now so that we're not anxious and fearful. And then relational healing really helps fear heal faster. So if you have someone that you trust, who you feel in connection with, you have safe connection with, your anxiety and fear healing will be more expeditious than if you're in isolation. Fear learns through repetition and experience, not willpower. And so fear's got a job to do. It's here to keep us safe. And sometimes if it's in overdrive, it's too much of a good thing. And so we have to integrate our fear. And like an inside out, fear integrates into the system. And that's what we need to do for ourselves if we feel like fear is driving our life. And so I want you to hear this clearly. If you are feeling like that, your nervous system is not broken. Fear is just stuck in the on position because it once kept you alive. It kept you connected, or it kept you protected. And healing isn't about silencing fear. It's about teaching your body that the danger has passed, that it's over, that you're in the now, not the then. And it doesn't have to do this alone anymore. You don't need to fire fear. You don't need to kick it out or put it in the trunk. You just need to let it rest. So hopefully this helps you better understand the biology of fear and how it's really trying to just protect you from danger.